Programmers, welcome back in Programmer Shield channel. In this video, we are going to learn about how to write a factorial program in C language. So first of all, we have to understand what is factorial. We can calculate the factorial of any number by multiplying it in a backward direction until 1. So let's see it in the sample. For example, let's suppose we want to calculate a factorial of 5. This exclamatory mark basically shows the factorial in mathematics. So if we want to calculate the factorial of 5, so what we do, we multiply 5, multiply by 4, multiply by 3, multiply by 2, multiply by 1, which is equal to 120. So this is the way which we can calculate the factorial of any number. So firstly, I am writing a program. I wrote the program of factorial. Then we will understand that program by dry running, and we will see the program line by line. We will understand the program line by line. I will explain you every single line of this code. So right now, first of all, we are going to I'm going to initialize integer type variable n, printf statement, enter number, and here we write scanf %d array. So the value that the user input, for example, a user input any number for factorial, so that number is going to be saved in this n variable. We are going to make one more variable named copy, and here we assign it a value of n. I will tell you why I do that. And one more thing that I forgot to tell you is that the factorial of 0 factorial is equal to 1. Remember that. This is something that we have to remember. So we put a logic for this, and when n is equal to 0, then print, or when we can send that, then printf with 0 factorial is equal to 1. Okay, and in the else we put our logic. We use for loop, int I is equal to 1. We start this loop from 1. I will tell you everything, and we made a condition I is less than the variable of copy, and I plus plus. Then in the braces we are going to write here n is equal to n multiplied by I, and here we write printf %d. Did we write this? So this is our code for factorial. First of all, we are going to run this program, see right if there is any error. So we will resolve that, and then we start understanding this program. First of all, we are going to run that program. So I typed there 5. Yeah, we got the answer 120. As I told you, the answer is 120. So this program is working correctly. And if I want to calculate a factorial of 0, which is 1, we know that. So let's see. Yeah, 0 factorial is equal to 1, which means that this statement prints on our console screen. So let's see this program. Here we initialize a variable n. As I told you, n is in n we save the value that user gives us to calculate the factorial. So let's take an example of 5. For example, user assign us a 5 value. Then we initialize a variable of integer type named copy, and we assign it the value of n. So copy is equal to 5 also. I will explain you what. Then we do what we put if condition n is equal to 0. If n is equal to 0, then print this statement 0 factorial is equal to 1. And then in else, we put our logic for all the calculation of other numbers factorial. We put for loop. We start for loop from 1 because we are multiplying our n by I. So we use I in our logic. So and we are multiplying. Use multiplication. So if I put here 0, so multiplication is not. So every number is become 0 because 0 multiplied by any number is 0, and we don't need to multiply anything with 0 in this calculation, in this logic, because we want to multiply a number to calculate a factorial in a backward order until 1. We want to multiply until 1. So until 1, not till 0. So until 1 we can. So that's why we start I from 1. And here we take a copy. We use copy variable for condition. Why don't we use n variable? Because every time the loop runs, the value of n becomes changed. The value of n changed. That's why we use a copy variable and we assign the initial value of n to copy to use that variable in our condition, for loop condition. That's why we made a copy variable. Copy variables load Moses. So here that's why we made a copy variable. Now let's say I is equal to 1 initially, and let's check the condition I is less than copy. Yeah, copy is equal to 5, so I less than copy. Then it comes in this loop, and then it runs this statement. So let's see here. We made a logic that n is equal to 5. So if 5 multiplied by I, which is I is equal to 1. So what it becomes? 5. N is equal to now 5. Now the loop runs again with the increment of I. Now I becomes 2. So now n is, as I write the condition, as I write the equation, n multiplied by I. So n is 5 multiplied by 2, which has become 10. Now n become 10. Now again loop runs with the increment of I become 3, and we know that n is equal to 10 multiplied by 3. 10 3 is 13. Then again loop runs and I become increment, and if I is increased by 1, so it becomes I is equal to 4. And we know that here in our last equation n is equal to 30. So we multiply 13 multiplied by 4, which is equal to 120. So this is how we can put a logic of a factorial program. So this equation works in this manner, and it becomes 120. Then it checks the condition again. It increments the value of I is equal to 5. Then again it checks the condition, and the condition becomes false. So that's why it breaks the loop and run this statement, which is about print the value of n. So value of n is right now is 120, as we have the equation n is equal to n multiplied by I. So value of n is equal to 120 when the loop breaks, and then it prints the value of 120 on our console screen as the factorial of 5. So this is all about the working of this program, factorial program. This is how you can write a factorial program in C language. In this video, we learn about the factorial program, how to write a factorial program, the logic of factorial program in C language. Factorial program is basically very useful. Every beginner, when we start learning programming, these are some questions that we use to practice to build our logical mindset. So I advise you to practice these questions, and I wish you happy coding. I will see you soon.